This is a job we did in Lake Bonavista in Calgary, of course. So what's kind of neat about this place, oh, look who's checking us out. That's the client's dog. He's a real friendly guy. He wishes he was hanging out with us. Anyways, if you notice, most of Calgary's front steps, and I don't know if we can see one around here, for example, but most of Calgary's front steps, or most residential neighborhoods, are just a typical concrete step. You know, the broomed concrete look, very boring. So what we did here was we tried to create a step that had a little more character, a little more class. You can see this Pisa stone here. It's actually Roman Pisa stone. So it's been tumbled to give it kind of a weathered look, and it creates a much nicer look, of course, than a typical concrete front step. So this Pisa look, we inset some nice paving stone pavers inset in it, and again, it just separates it from being typical, which most of our clients are not looking for typical. They're trying to look for something that's got a little more character or class. And then coming down from the Pisa steps, of course, is we have a nice front patio here, and you can see again it's done in the rustic Euro stone, actually we call this. So, but a nice front entrance look. One of the most important parts of landscaping is to define the borders, right? If you don't have clearly defined borders, you end up with a very boring, not so nice looking landscape. So defining the borders is important, and you can define the borders in a number of ways. One of the most popular ways is becoming mow pavers, because they're not raised stone, so the cost is a little more reasonable, and they're closer to the ground, of course, so you can conveniently ride your mower along the mowing pavers. So I'll just show you here. You can see this is excellent, because you can just take your lawnmower and conveniently ride it along the edge of these mowing pavers. And in between the mowing pavers, what we've done is we put in polymeric sand. So the polymeric sand, of course, we sweep that in and then we mist it, and the sand actually hardens. So you're not concerned about getting weeds or ants in between your paving stones, which of course can happen if you just use regular sand. Here we are at a totally different property with a totally different look. This paving stone is called Trafalgar, which is from a company called Permacon in Ontario. Now, our good friends at Amico Stone in Calgary carry this type of stone, but this is actually from an Ontario company. Again, it's called Trafalgar paving stones. Gives you a beautiful look, and for this property, the clients wanted to preserve this beautiful tree, of course, so we just cut around it, which of course really adds to the look of this patio, in my opinion. It's a beautiful look. So we also put in some Teco block stacking steps, just to kind of give it a different look rather than use Pisa stone or something like that. So this is a big stone patio. It was a very big project, but if you look around, I mean, the quaintness and the classiness of this patio is pretty hard to beat. It's certainly one of our favorite installations, and the customer's very happy with it. On the edge, of course, in the gardens, we did mowing pavers. This sod that we put in is about 4 weeks old, and you can see how well it's come in. Beautiful sod, very lush, looks fantastic. This mountain ash used to sit here by itself just in the backyard amongst some overgrown bushes, and so what we did is we decided to bring the garden right around the mountain ash in order to incorporate that whole area into garden, and of course define it with some mowing pavers, which the customer is very happy with. Back here we brought the paving stones all the way to the back gate here, and here you can see we put in actually a cedar fence. The cedar fence, we use 6x6 posts instead of traditional 4x4, which you see a lot. But this creates a beautiful backdrop to a nice landscape, and it's important for, I think, for customers to remember that if they're going to spend the money on their landscaping, why not also spend it on the perimeter of the landscaping, which is really your backdrop for your landscape. So this beautiful cedar fence is not only good looking, but it's going to last a long time. These 6x6 posts don't warp like you'll see with a 4x4 post. Here's an example of the neighbor's fence, and this is a 4x4 post here. I mean, look at that. That is the bones and it's the spine of your fence. So using this type of wood, it might save you a few bucks in the short term, but in the long run, you're going to pay a lot more. And let's look at the solidness of this. I can't even move this 6x6 cedar post. So no comparison. And the look, to me, there's no comparison either. It's just a beautiful look.